Deputy Catherine Martin, please.
I'm delighted to support this bill today, and I commend the ongoing work of Senator Ivana Bacik, who has long been a champion of women's rights in bringing the bill to this stage. While there has been much change in Irish society in the past few decades and many barriers to gender equality have been broken down, this doesn't mean that we can ever afford to be complacent. There remain structural and cultural issues which prevent true gender equality, and these must be overcome through positive measures such as this bill. It has been over 40 years since Ireland introduced the Anti-Discrimination Pay Act, and yet the most recent CSO figures have shown that women in this country are paid on average 14% less than men. There are many and complex reasons why such a difference persists despite laws to prevent gender pay discrimination. Overt discriminations have fortunately become less frequent. However, we continue to see huge gender segregation by occupation and the undervaluing of occupations and sectors which are predominantly female. Gender equality, as with all matters of equality, cannot be achieved by passive acts. It must be won through positive action. We can write the words on paper and pass the laws calling for an end to discriminations, but without active enforcement, follow-up, research and work, we cannot overcome the more subtle problems. I believe this bill will work to tackle these subtleties through the collection of data. It is the detailing that will show us exactly where problems lie and inform us how we must tackle them. I particularly welcome this bill's call for companies above 50 employees to publish information on the proportion of male and female employees in the lower middle, upper middle and upper quartile pay bands. There are many organisations where, while men and women on the same band are paid equally, women make up the majority of the lower pay levels and men the majority of the upper pay levels. Last year we learned that this was the case for government departments where women were failing to break through to upper and managerial levels. While data we can learn how systemic this is. With data, we can learn how systemic this is and develop the policies and supports necessary to address it. It should be noted that ending the pay gap will not only be beneficial for women, it will be beneficial to the economy at large. PwC have estimated that cutting the pay gap could boost OECD economies by 4.9 trillion. Hopefully, we will see the measures outlined by this bill being extended in the future to cover companies and enterprises under 50 employees and ensure that areas with precarious employment, which women are more likely to be employed in than men, are monitored and assessed in terms of potential gender biases. There is much work to be done in terms of valuing women's work across all sectors and advancing gender equality, something which is of course a priority with the Oireachtas Women's Parliamentary Caucus. But I believe the Senator Bacik's bill will make a hugely positive impact in addressing gender pay issues. Gurv Magath.